Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be reviewing the Transformers Studio Series 86 Deluxe class Bonecrusher. And here is the figure out of the box, but first we will take a quick look at the box. So here is the box that the figure comes in. As you can see, the brand new Studio Series box. Once again, you have Bonecrusher up here in the corner with his bulldozer mode, Transformers Studio Series, Transformers the movie, Constructicon Bonecrusher. On this side is just the rest of the photo. On the back is just some product shots, and you have a nice image of Devastator up there in the corner. And lastly, on the side is just another picture of Devastator. And then once again, on top, not really a whole lot, just things that we have already seen. But that is basically it for the packaging. And now onto the main figure itself, which is Bonecrusher. Once again, he does look pretty good for the most part. The only complaint is he has too much green on him, but I do understand that is accurate, so in a way I can't really complain. It's just a little bit of an eyesore, I guess, just seeing all the green as opposed to Scrapper having at least some purple and silver to break some of that stuff up, but it is what it is. I mean, it's accurate, so. And moving on to the figure itself, detail-wise, you have some red and purple and the Decepticon symbol on his chest. The head is done really nice. The arms, not really a whole lot going on there. Just a little bit of purple there on the hand, and that is about it. The legs, once again, nothing too much, just green everywhere, except for little bits of silver right here and down here on the feet. The back, once again, not a whole lot going on. The only backpack he really has is just this combiner kind of joint for Devastator's hand. But other than that, that is basically it for that. Now, articulation. The head is on a ball joint, but you have this hinge here that kind of gets in the way, but he can look up a little bit, can look down a lot. A head can do a full 360. Arms can do a full 360, go out all the way. Biceps are on a ball joint, so that will serve as your bicep rotation. You get a tiny bit over 90 degrees of bend there. Nothing at the wrists. The legs are on ball joints. They can go up about that far, really. A lot. But the shovel will kind of get in the way. Back, once again, pretty far. Knees, you do get about 90 degrees bend there. Back up to the legs. They can go out about that far. And you do have thigh rotation. As far as the feet go, you do have ankle tilt, which a lot, and the toes, due to transformation, can close if you need them to. Other than that, that is about it for articulation. And real quick, just a couple more points of articulation that he kind of has, but not really. He does have waist rotation, but to do that, you have to undo the bucket, which kind of can't really pose him too well like that. And he also does have an ab crunch, which you can use to your advantage because you have these hinges you can work with, and you can just position those however you want as well. Or if you would really want to, you can knock the pins out here to take all this off, just so you do have more range of articulation. But me personally, I will not do that. But once again, it's an option that you have. And as far as accessories go, it does get this blaster here. Once again, not a whole lot going on to it. It's just mainly just cast in a kind of dark gray plastic. You can store it on the back. You do have this hole right here, and you just have this peg, and just tab it like that, and angle it up or down, whatever you like. But once again, you can just have him holding his blaster, and there you go. And that is all the accessories that Bonecrusher here comes with. Now, as far as the gun goes, it is compatible with your effects parts. Just goes on just like that. And yeah. And for some scale comparisons, here he is with Galvatron. Get him in the camera. Yep, there we go. Let's see, here he is with Starscream. Here he is with Ironhide. Here he is with Brawn. And lastly, here he is with his fellow Constructicon Scrapper. And once again, we got the team looking good together, at least as far as what we have. But there is the comparisons. And now that all of that is out of the way, we can now get down to transformation, which is fairly simple. The first thing that we want to do is just take these arms and rotate them 180, just like that on both sides. So we just come around, bring them up. There's a tab slot connection right here that will just snap into place, just like so. Then what we can do is take this canopy section and just raise it up about that far, come back here to this peg, and just bring it up and out of the way for now. And then what we can do is just come down to the feet and close them, just like that. Then what we do is just come down here to this bucket section and just untab it and extend it all the way for now. This section here is on a hinge, so we just hinge that back. And we can take his head here and just fold it in. Take the arms, rotate them up, and then we just will bring them in and bring them up. Now, they will tab together. There's also a tab up in here that they will both tab into. And then you do have this tab right here that'll just kind of go in there, just like that. Then what we can do is just take the rest of this canopy section and just continue to bring it all the way up. Take this part here, and we bring it all the way down. Lastly, we just bring the legs up, and there is a tab right here. It'll go into a slot right here. And then you have this tab that'll just go into slots right in there. Once we get that, there we go. Once again, tab slot connection here, but there's a tab on this side that'll get into a slot right there. So we get that on, just like that. And lastly, we just want to angle this section down, take this hinge, raise it up, hinge the bucket down, And then there is just a tab that'll just slide in there, just like that. And there is Bonecrusher in his bulldozer mode. So there is Bonecrusher in his alt mode, and he looks really good. Once again, as far as detail wise, you can still pick out some molded detail, but as far as coloration goes, once again, it's just green everywhere. But that's about it. Come here, you have the Decepticon symbol right there inside the bucket. Some nice purple on the front of the bulldozer. You have some detailing in through here, as well as just up and around here. The treads do have detail. Once again, you have this silver on each side that helps break it up a little bit, but not really. The back, not a whole lot going on there. Once again, on this side, basically the same thing that we already saw. That is about it for that. As far as articulation on the bucket goes, there really is none unless you use some of these hinges, which in that case you can raise it up a little bit, or you can untab it and bring all these hinges out and work with it however you want. But as far as how it actually is without like undoing any of the transformation, there is no articulation, sadly. But and then anyway, here is the front view. Here is the side view. Here is the rear view. Here's the other side view. Here is the top view. And here is the bottom view. Now, as far as rolling, he has no wheels, but he still glides around just fine. Now, I do believe this is just plastic, so you probably don't have to worry about paint chipping off. It's just this stuff right here under the bucket that may chip off, just depending on what surface you roll it on, so I would just keep in mind of that. And, of course, you can't store his weapon. You do have 2 ports right here, and I threw his weapon by accident. 2 ports right here, you just plug it in, and that is going to be your storage for that. Once again, that is just how that looks. And now it is time for the comparison. So, first off, here he is with Starscream. See how that scales. Next, we have Galvatron. Once again, see how that goes. We have Ironhide. See? And we have Brawn. That's how they look. And lastly, here he is with Scrapper. Once again, they do look really good together. And there is your comparisons. And as far as combine mode for Bonecrusher goes, just like Scrapper does not say in the instructions, but I do think I have figured it out for the most part. But once again, I'm not going to do it in this video, just because I do want to wait until I can confirm whether or not I am correct. Which, once again, we should have the instructions within the next couple of months, but once again, not the end of the world, at least in my opinion, right now. So there is the Transformers Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Bonecrusher, and yeah, he is a really good figure, very solid. Once again, only real complaint is just the sea of green, but once again, I do understand that that is accurate, and that is what they are going for, is accuracy. But other than that, articulation is great, transformation is fun. Combine mode, once again, seems pretty simple enough, but I will just figure that out once we get official instructions. And yeah, at least they are selling this one at the deluxe class price, even though he is actually a pretty big deluxe class. But once again, can't complain, especially with the prices now getting bumped up. But anyway, enough about that. But yeah, if you come across this figure, I would highly recommend getting it. Until then, this is me signing off, and I will see you in the next one.